What a day, what a day. It's Saturday here at Today at the Races. Fun times that we had yesterday, Keith.
Yeah, very good day yesterday. Another good turnout. It was like guys' day out. I don't
It
think we
was.
did the normal guys' day out after Thanksgiving, but you know what? They made it their own day out yesterday. It was a very good crowd, energetic, enthusiastic. We love seeing that here at Laurel Park, and a couple really good performances in those stakes races. Intrepid Daydream and Sevens 11. They looked good yesterday.
And we'll see. We'll find out what looks good today
Yeah.
in some stakes action that we got going on. Let's see what that stage looks like for these stakes races. Of course, track is fast. No turf, but everything's looks hunky-dory as per usual, Keith.
Absolutely, 41 degrees. Yeah, it's definitely cold out there today, but the sun is shining. Come out again if you can and join us. So we've got to kind of piggyback on these big days. There's no doubt about it. But good card. We've got 3 stakes today lined up for you. We've got some talent. We're going to see some 3-year-olds that are really good, some older horses. So let's get to it.
Let's get right to it, kicking off this early pick 5 in this claiming 40,000. For the girls, the straight 2-year-old fillies going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt, scratching the 7 Neolithica. Keith, you and I both have Shake It Baby, and let's go ahead and take a look at Shake It Baby's last time out for Jamie Ness.
Yeah, this is going to be second off the claim, and Shake It Baby took it right to this 20-1 shot going into the turn and around the turn, but did it very easily. I know those internals weren't blistering. It's a little heavier surface sometimes up there at Parks, but I love the improvement we're seeing for this 2-year-old filly for Jamie Ness. Gets command here and just kind of kicks away under some steady pressure for the final 3/16 of a mile. Draws off the win by 8 and change when it's all said and done. She's sharp right now. She's the only 2-time winner in the field. Yeah, she's inside. She's got a break, and there's some horses that might be a little bit quicker to her outside, even directly outside. And remember me, True Sunshine is very fast from the farther outside portion. Going to break, I guess, from the 8 stall today, True Sunshine. So if she can slide in there and get that stalking trip, it might work today. But here's a little stat. 35% Jamie Ness the last 3 years with these horses jumping up off of a win. ROI, I'd like to see a little bit stronger, but hey, you know, steady as she goes. He's tough, hard to leave out of the money here. The 1, Shake It Baby.
Stat-o-matic from
Okay.
Keith Fusel there on Shake It Baby. You have underneath the number 3 in Brown Sugar Babe, Mike Jones Jr., Kymar Trotman. Mike Jones having a win here yesterday as well.
Yeah, Coach Rube got a real good ride yesterday.
Yes.
Inside out trip, worked in between horses and got it done. Got the bob at the wire. Brown Sugar Bay, I thought had a little bit of trouble last time out at Delaware. Shuffled a bit at the 3.5. I got a little steady even prior to that at the break. Kind of churned on when altering course upper stretch. I think this one has the ability to sit mid-pack and make a run into him. Just looking for that value. Feiner's Fillets, I guess, going to draw a lot of play here for Brittany Russell, going from that optional 62 down to the 40 claimer here. Second time blinkers. You saw the excuse. Bumped around at the break. Tried to take a rating hold last time. Didn't quite kick on like I thought, but out of a key race. Ronan Goddess, Kissed by an Angel. Good horses in there. Really good fillies. So second time blinkers today. She's got speed. She'll be in position with a clean break. When they hit the mid-turn, I think she'll be ready to strike. But you might get a little bit better price on this one. 3 definitely bringing some value. And wait for tomorrow. Didn't know what quite to make. Beat lesser, but did it impressively. There you go. 1, 3, 5, 6. I just like, I'm taking the horse that's won 2 races. And then a horse she beat last time, Tina was second. That horse had run a good race prior. I've got Gallop for 20 here at Laurel running a 51. So there you go.
Let's kick on to Keith Fusel's, of course, early pick 4 from this first race, starting off in race number 2.
Yeah, this to me, I look later in the card and I couldn't really unearth bigger prices, Callie. So I go here with the early pick 4, 1, 3, 5 to get you started. Black Candy would be a major surprise, but any of these other horses do fit in race 2 if you can add. And this is an all or nothing type, the single in race number 3, Von Hoff. We'll talk about that one a little bit for Brittany Russell. And then 2 deep in race 4, I Can Run, Charming Way. Ruta might go. These 2, I think, will be definitely forces up on or near the lead and can stay the trip. Race 5 is where we spread. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Even if you want to add the 10 in there. Dave Rodman likes this source. Well, I was just talking to him a little bit earlier. Thea's Theme as a possible improve some speed. Andre Chavez, rider here, a younger 7-pound bug, apprentice rider. So might be one that you can also toss in isn't going to really hurt that ticket too much. But we'll stick with that $18 ticket in race number 5.
18 bucks for Keith Fusel in the early pick 4, which starts in the starter optional 12.5, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. You and I both have it Not Away, as you mentioned. Kieran McGee, Jamie Rodriguez, second in the barn now for McGee.
Might have called that the early pick 5, early pick 4. There we go. Getting a little. We've had a lot of races. Yeah, it's been busy. The Thanksgiving, the stuffing, everything. I went back for seconds again last night. So race 2, Not Away, rolling right now. I think steps up a little bit in here, but man, a little bit of a new dimension for Not Away of late. I did not expect him, when giving up that much ground early, to be able to kind of make that run and sustain it. He did. Some speed to target in here. Kieran's other horse off the claim, Free Square, I think is going to be dangerous up front. So let's see if Not Away can keep it rolling, make it, 3 in a row? I mean, this horse just knows how to win. Senate Chamber is an interesting horse as a play. You've got this one in the mix, giving you a little confidence here. King up against a horse at Delaware that matches up. When you look around the page, Aristocratics run against this Sovereign Speed. It's that 3rd place finisher. He was 3 clear of Striking Speed, who went up and ran very well, just missed at Aqueduct in an open 10. This horse is back off, second off the claim. That's a good move on the dirt recently for Mikey Gorham, 24%. I think he can move definitely, because this pace should be honest in race number 2, because Aristocratic's going to go from the outside.
Keith Fusel 3-1-5-2 in race number 2. Race number 3 is a maiden claiming 30,000, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Scratch in the number 3. Keith, you have Von Hoff on your top selection on the outside. Let's go ahead and take a look at that first start from Von Hoff.
We're going back in the Wayback Machine, September of 2021.
Wow.
A long, long time ago.
Yeah.
Broke a little slow in that maiden special event as a 2-year-old. Going to have to rush up into contention early. Does get some and is able to prompt a pretty legitimate pace right there. They went 11 and change, the 2-year-olds here. But I tell you, inside, around the turn, sat chilly, got into position off the duel, and this was a good field too. Let's talk about the winner first. Homebrew, that horse ended up going to the Brad Cox barn, and what I think won 4 stakes, including the Pegasus. But here's the traffic down inside. This horse wanted to kind of work through that seam. It's just a little precarious there, coming past the 8th pole, a little tight, but willing, very willing to the wire when things kind of open up here late. There goes Homebrew with that surge. I think that might have been Kelly Breen first out and then a sale possibly.
Agreed.
Yeah, tops the charts, slots. I mean, good horses. Now this horse has been start, stop with training since then.
Right.
Returns first Lasix, first time gelding. Not a huge drop. So maybe they got a little faith here. If you want them, you're going to have to pay $30,000. But Von Hoff, looking at this field, you got a lot of horses kind of, going turf to dirt. Outside, I think will be right up on the engine, I think, here, ready to go. And if anybody can kind of get them ready off the break and go the mile, it's Brittany Russell.
You go with Money Room in your exacta, as well as I do for Carrie Holbein. Martina Rojas coming in and stretching this one back out to a distance, one that has given us good results at this distance.
Yeah. And I tell you, a little hiccup out of the break last time into an early quarter that was 22-3, pretty sharp. Left this one way too much to do. This horse is kind of knocked on the door. He's not real pretty, but he's around it. And I think in this race, yes, he's 0 for 17, 6 seconds, nothing else, So I think with a cleaner break, Martina Rojas will have this one into the race early and can definitely stay around. That 3-back race, North Highland, we've seen what he's done coming back. He's a key horse now.
And there we have it. Keith Fusel 10-1-8-2. You also go with the Big Maz and Holy Moly underneath.
Holy moly, a little bit of question mark. Anytime Kieran off the claim is dangerous. It's a really stronger lean for turf. Let's see if this one can transition 3rd time gelding when going to the dirt. And the Big Maz, a couple races at Laurel work. You look at the top buyer, a 64 here, second off a little bit of a break. Gets J-Rod, was originally named on 3, he's now scratched. Right. But this one possibly somewhere from mid-pack kind of grinded out, got the right kind of rider to carry him home.
We'll see what happens there in race number 3. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6, and I'm just going to give you my $21.60 ticket, 3 wide here with the 1, 3, and 6. I'm surprised I didn't go a bit shorter. Surprisingly, when I was creating this ticket, in these stakes races, I thought it was going to be a little cut and dry, a little bit like that we had yesterday with some of our selections. But race number 8 is interesting for me, where I do go 3 wide in that effort. In race number 7, I go 2 deep, of course, single. Why not on post time? There in race number 6. Just taking a double check and looking. Yes, in the city of Laurel. But Howell, I go in with Apple Picker just because just just on a good roll with this one. But super interesting in the Dickie Small Stakes. I go with Market Maven, but then you have to include Ain't a Beer Cold just because just have to put a little bit of respect in there with it. But the number 6, King Cumbele, very interesting there in that. I think that we'll go over it. I can't wait to get to that race because we spread a little bit in that race in our picks. But there we have it, $21.60 for this Rainbow Pick 6 ticket. Starts in this allowance optional 40, going a mile and an eighth on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Keith, you have the number 6 on top, and Charming Way, a filly I am a big fan of for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Ness train gets rolling, you better watch out, no doubt about it. This one goes third time off the claim, second off a little bit of a break, and she kind of really put it together. This daughter of Blofeld had showed definite promise early in her career. Things kind of fizzled out. Came back and wins against the boys in for that 25, and Ness saw something he liked, and she's just kind of putting it together now. I think she's at a mile and an eighth. It might be pushing it a little bit. But, man, she looks like she's hitting top stride right now. When they kind of get in that program and they get rolling, they keep rolling. So we'll take Charming Way in here. I Can Run definitely had a better beginning finally after a couple hiccups in his 2 prior starts. We're going to watch him in his most recent race, November the 4th. There's that November the 4th date again. There it is. But I tell you, got away with things a little bit soft on the front, 24 and 2, 49. Track was a little slower that day. Wasn't souped up or anything like that. But I tell you, this horse digs in. Saddle Up Jesse, who's in very good form right now, jumped up and I think ran big. This was the big race off of a prior race, and the 2 other than was really good. But look at this horse. Gets headed, comes back, shifts out, and really gives game chase. It'll be interesting to see what the other Claudio does, because Ruda, who's won going a mile and a quarter, that was an off-the-turf race, looks like maybe some best work is going to be in the front. But I think you'll go here with I Can Run and a little shadow trip for my top selection, Charming Way.
And there we have it, 6-3-7-2 in race number 4 for Keith Fustel. And now let's get to race number 5. This is the late pick 5 in a claiming 8,000. Going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Scratching the 11, Sneaky Cheeky. You and I both go with a Tweet Away Robin for Hugh McMahon, Carlos Lopez. Let's take a look at that last run, which resulted in a win.
Yeah, and one thing, we'll preface this, we'll say, Tweet Away Robin, she's 6 now, and she's gotten some habits of not breaking great. She's not super comfortable, it looks like, in the gate. Even to this particular day, she didn't come out super sharp, better than the prior races. But, boy, Lopez has gotten along with her beautifully. Gets her to relax. And you could see she wasn't even asked till about the 3/16.
Until Carlos peeked over his shoulder on the outside horse.
Yeah. And Esperanto came back to run big on the turf, and she just kind of goes. Now, they're not blazing to the wire, but she's dead fitting out a sharper break, 7/8 of a mile. When she was on her game back in the day, she would blitz this field. I think on the front end with a good break. She's got to come out of there, get position. I do think Thea Steam is going to maybe go, and maybe even Viking Queen to be part of that pace. But anything close to that, if she comes away in that first 16th of a mile fairly cleanly, she'll be tough right back. You've got a class dropper and Fool Yourself, I think, is dangerous. Going to a new barn here, going to Annette Eubanks or Rising Sun Racing Stable. Illusion of Hope. Shot horse for me. I thought ran very well off the claim at Timonio. Closed up nicely and against a pretty good field, a better field. Didn't run terrible. Next out, back quick. Breezy Connection came back to run big, kind of bucking a little bit of a bias yesterday, because that was a little bit of an inside and a little bit of a speedy lean, I thought, on yesterday's card. And last time out, again had to hook anonymously. It just didn't fire. It was off the pace, too much to do against a much better field. Fool Yourself and Illusion of probably come out, I think, of the better races. 7/8 is going to work. I think she makes a run into it at a price. We've got Rojas there. Lucky Lorraine, I think she has to be used as well. Fairly decent form of late. That winner just kind of ran off last time. 73 comes out of a quicker race at Delaware. Works here, a couple good tries over the Laurel surface. I think Caramanas will be patient with this one, try to ramp it up from the 3/8 pole home.
As Keith Vista goes 2-7-3-4 for race number 5. We will be right back after this commercial break for the jackpot, race number 6, and a slew stakes coming at you for Saturday.
Thoroughbred racing is taking vital steps to make our sports safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
Keith, it's the jackpot super high 5. It's the start of the late pick 4, and it's the start of our 3 stakes that we have going on here this Saturday in the city of Laurel Stakes. 7 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old Scratch, and the 2 Coffee with Chris, the 6 Super Accelerate, both ran yesterday, and the 8 Giant Mischief. You and I both go with Post Time. Of course, let's go and roll back to Post Time's latest effort at Keeneland.
Yeah, this was good against a quality field, and they gave this horse plenty of time between December of 22, September 23, and this horse didn't miss a beat. Really came back and went past that two other than field with some the plump mild hand pressure when you're looking at it, and catches this group down there. And yeah, you're looking at some of the gaudy numbers: Race Kane, Venkman, but take nothing away from this effort. Post Time ran very well against that group. Quality group. They had a little bit of a battle up front. I like the way he finished, had to deal with the travel. We know this horse has some quirks that they have to deal with. So all that being said, did not embarrass himself. Runs a top number in a 94. He's back on a track that he loves. And let's face it, I don't know if we've seen his best effort yet over this track. You've got a horse like Bick from the far outside who looks like he's going to have to kind of go ahead and go if he's going to do his best. But Post Time, I think, is going to be lurking once they hit the 3/16 pole. But this is a good race, short field. You've got a horse in the 5, Let It Ride, coming in for George Weaver. We have video of that one as well. Look at this guy. 3 races. He's won his last 2. In his debut, he gets beat ahead by Scotland, who's a stakes winner up at Saratoga. His face nothing but killers. This race, he puts away the 1-2 Chad Brown horse and goes away kind of for a little bit of fun. Just a steady pressure here, the final 16th of a mile, maybe geared down very late. Look at those numbers, 85, 84, 88. Okay. He could be just this good and be able to he's going to get first run, it looks like, on the closers, no doubt about it, if he breaks cleanly. The only question marks, comes off Lasix today. And Weaver, George Weaver, as good as he is, you got to look at the percentages at Laurel. The last 3 years at Laurel, he's 3 for 31. And he's been beaten with a lot of short price horses. The horse is going to be very short. Obviously, a lot of talent. Looking forward to watching him run, no doubt about it. But I'm going to add a little bit more value in here, I think, with the rail horse, as you do too. 90% Maddie. He's just a kind of a gamer. And he looks like he's kind of gotten back on his game. Broke well last time out, took back off the speeds. I know that was an off-the-turf race. But Super Chow's pretty good. Got some speed. This guy, he'll gut it out. He won't go away. As he showed, it was evidence when he ran into Tezio here. Got up there and just battled every step of the way. I like him to kind of roll up into position and make that first move maybe into the speeds and go from there.
Talk about your 3. Praetorian Guard for Louis Linder at 30-1 attracts Fergal Lynch as a jock.
I can't get the horse to their second or third. Fourth just looked like that horse. But they have similar styles of 3 and 7. They're going to need everything to go their way up front. I don't quite see that happening. Maybe, but I just don't see it. But really, Post Time, it's a shorter field, good horses, talented 3-year-olds, and we turn to race 7. You might have a little bit of a star in the making coming up here in the Safely Kept Stakes.
Yeah, the Safely Kept Stakes, 7 furlongs on the dirt for the straight 3-year-old fillies. Keith, you and I both go with Howell. Let's dig into Howell in that first and only effort that we've seen from this filly in the Badcock's barn. Yeah,
this was impressive. 12-horse field, and we talked about that might not be the best draw for a first-time starter.
Correct.
But you look at the size of this filly and where she is out there, she's monstrous. And she just towered over the field, got bet down. Obviously the Brad Cox horses take a lot of play, But this was a lot of money in a big, big field. A couple horses that run okay figures. And watch her just shadows the leaders and just says, okay, I'm going to give you a little nudge here, 3/16 pole. And it's over. 7 3/4, widening. He trained a sibling of this one, not near the talent. I think that one might have been by Distorted Humor. But I like this little step right up here to the Safely Kept. Read Dan Ullman's article in the Daily Racing Forum, and looks like in a perfect world, the La Brea, the Grade 1, they were kind of talking about, dreaming about a little bit. The 26th of December out at Santa Anita. We shall see. But man, oh man, I know it's only one race, but that was super, super impressive. Good to see her here today. You know, we kind of get a little treat with a horse like this coming to town. But hey, she's going to have her running shoes on. You've got a horse like Apple Picker, some speed also to kind of keep her entertained up front. I think Liquidator, Unified Alliance. But there's another one in here that ran big against older last time, Warriors Ransom. And Ness was quoted as saying that this is really one of my better claims. Did not have everything her own way last time. Had an experienced horse in Disco Evo. We've seen her around here, multiple stakes winner. Kind of got the easier trip up front. This one came running. She'll dog you, no doubt about it. I like her to complete the exacta 5-4 for me in race 7. Apple Picker, she just had to face some really tough ones last time in Baba and Alba Star. I mean, granted, gave her that race off the race of Pimlico, very impressive in the weather vein. But she's going to have to maybe pick it up again, maybe for the likes of this 5-horse, or even the 4 Warriors Ransom for Ness.
Let's carry on to the Dickey Small Stakes, going 1 1/8 on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you go with the number 4 in Mo Visitor here in the barn of Mariah Montoya. Victor Carrasco, this filly is a little bit of a all or nothing type of filly.
Yeah, I kind of, pulled a little bit of an audible here late. I kept looking. I was like, looking at the prices, the 2 and the 6, they're gonna take plenty of play. But Mo Visitor, I looked at his last race. And, he's been a kind of a different horse now on the dirt. He's 3 of 4 on the dirt. He's won on the off track. He's won, 1.70 last time. And he's done it impressively. He's done it either way. And last time out, he really outran some fast horses. There was a couple horses in there that I thought he was not going to be able to clear. But he was able to do it. And Sanchez got this one just to kind of relax, rating hold, kicked away, and then had plenty left late. It was kept to a drive, but enough to stay safe. I just think, again, outlier to his inside might be the biggest challenge. I know Ain't the Beer Cold is fast. He better be fast, because Mo Visitor's going to make you work for it.
Sure.
The opening quarter, but he's got that interesting rating gear. He might be able to just sit back just off of him too, if needed. This is an improving 3-year-old right now, later in the year, that's got a shot at a big, big price. The horses to beat, I think, are the 2 and the 6. King Cumbele has been able to kind of buck the bias a little bit up at Parks. Last time his hand was forced into that slower flow. He and Be Better, they're finally going to get a chance, I think, to sit a little bit further back and make those runs like they like, because the flow should definitely be there. Ain't the Beer Cold's going to be battling up front, as I think Outlier has to from the inside. But we're going to go back to Be Better's race on the 29th. This is where he had put it together 2 starts in a row, bing, bing, win, comes back. This is going to be the trifecta for him on the 29th, and beating a horse like Nimitz Class at 1-5. Worked that inside-out trip, beautiful. Two next out efforts, just kind of was hampered. But, the question I have, was this the topper this particular day?
That's my thing.
You're thinking, was there a little regression? So if he's going to run, I think he's going to get the opportunity today to have that pace in front of him. We'll see if Be Better is really the Be Better we saw back a couple races ago.
And that's the only way to find out, as Keith usually goes 4-2-6-5 in race number 8, wrapping up our stakes action here, and in our nightcap here on Saturday's card is a claiming 10,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3, going 5.5 on the dirt. No scratches here, Keith. You go with Island Delight for Kieran McGee, Martina Rojas.
Yeah, I just had to. I know you got John Hall. He can win it. He's back quick. This is a jam. I don't know. If things it's a little desperate late, I gotta go for a little bit better price. I thought Island Delight ran really well, second off the claim, now third off the claim for Kieran. Look at that short comment inside, eased back, angled, and came back again. This guy hasn't really, you have to go back a few races to show that heart and determination. He's back. Top number last time out. There's definite speeds outside. You got a horse like Landon Jack, who's really quick. It was jumping in condition. I think he's a little bit faster maybe that first quarter. But Island Delight, I think he sets up shop, does a stalk and pounce kind of move here, back to the 5.5.
And, of course, you have to include Frogtown for Anthony Ferrier, another one who is just in great form with Victor Carrasco taking the call on this one. But and this is something that Ferrier does do well. He knows how to transfer anything that he runs at Charlestown over to Laurel for the most part.
Yeah, this one's definitely steady, has won the 3 races, as Island Delight has won the 3 races when you're looking at this condition. But Frogtown had an easier trip, that I thought, than Island Delight. Had that little bit of a setup. We'll see. May get it again, but I think I might get a little bit better price with Kieran's horse. The 5, the 8's interesting as well. Don't Invade My Space. Horse on the go back that's run against some good horses. Yeah, Charlestown. Okay, that's 65. If you want to dock a couple points, go right ahead. But this horse is sharp right now. You've got Chavez in there light. This one could easily draft in a position by the turn and set up shop to make a move into the flow. So I go 5, 2, 8, 7. My old buddy Disputed Notion and Brasino will get that trip from off the pace.
We'll see if they do as we wrap up on her picks for this Saturday here at Laurel Park. Let's dive in a little bit in this lightning round, Keith. Let's go right into your value play that you have for us. Kicking things off in race number 2 at 15-1 Senate Chamber, Mikey Gorham, Raul Mena on the rail.
Yeah, this is a horse, a shorter field that you have into the mix. I think it's going to be honest this week because Aristocratic's quick. So we'll Kieran's other horse, Free Square, try to take it to him, keep him occupied up front. I'm not so sure. But Senate Chamber, keying up against those horses from Delaware that work for me, it looks maybe like a little bit of a step up. This guy's there. I think he, second off the claim, that angle's been good for Mike Gorham of like 24%. We talked about that earlier in the show. Just be patient. This horse will bring a finish here in race 2 to maybe pull the upset or complete that exact.
Absolutely. And your best bet of the day is later on in race number 4, Charming Way, Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez, another one that's just really awesome on form right now.
Yeah, this barn's just rolling along, and I think just gets that shadow trip. Mile and an eighth just might be a touch too far, but just razor sharp right now, and I expect even one more step for this barn and this horse.
And just kind of going over the stakes that we had yesterday, in case you missed out, of course, 7's 11 doing very well. Intrepid Daydream in the Politely, actually, just going off very, very expected for this one, Keith.
Yeah, they opted to not go long. She's able to kind of do anything, but she was able to kind of get right up in there. Dog response time, a little lug in late, but comfortable to the wire, drawing off to win by like 4.5 or change, 4.5 or 5. Gets it done. And this one was good. 7's 11, little brush out of the gate, got up in there to get position and did it eagerly. Took that pressure, spurred it away, and just dead firm to the wire. This was good. Back on his game with 7's 11. Rode the better part of the racetrack. I thought all in all yesterday we saw that. Double Crown ran big. He's another one. Those two kind of had contact out of the gate. He gave up that early advantage, but he made the move. But 7's 11 had that breather kicked away, but he tried hard to the wire. He's a trier.
We have some stakes, as we mentioned today, that I think are going to be super exciting and just competitive nonetheless. And we are going to go to Dave Rodman for some more changes and possible scratches later today.
All right, good luck.